Well, hello there, people. As you all probably know, seeing that the YouTube basically exploded with information from very famous Pokemon YouTubers, Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer dropped this week, and let me just tell you, I was finally glad it did. The many, you may or may not know this, but I play Pokemon a lot. I still do, although it usually is in times. I didn't play X and Y or Sun and Moon until I actually decided to finally buy a 3DS, and I didn't regret doing it ever since. Pokemon is Pokemon. It's childhood memories, and seeing that I'm a guy who has a disorder is actually not so difficult to see why I actually like it anyway. Because a lot of people did say that some people with disorders tends to get drawn to Pokemon more than others. Although, unlike many franchises, Pokemon has rarely changed. And if you ask me, I am one of the few people who actually say that Pokemon will never change. They are afraid of change. Pokemon has always been and will always be simple. Will it need to be changed? Well, of course. Eventually, people will grow tired of it. They already have, after all. It's just, however, I don't think they can change. The biggest change they have ever made is actually switching Pokemon to Switch, not a handheld console. Although there were some rumors that we're gonna create a new handheld console, so once they create Generation 9, or if they do, then well, there you have it. In fact, how many generations will Pokemon create? Will they always create until the creator himself is dead? Although technically he's always the executive producer, never the director of the show. I think he only directed the first one. I don't know. But if you ask me, there's one thing I want from Pokemon. Once I have gotten that, then I would not mind if it decides to finish its franchise. But again, Pokemon is like a franchise that will only go as long as imagination can run wild. And it has created a lot of Pokemon. I think almost 1,000 now. Or maybe at least after this generation, we will definitely have over 1,000 Pokemon. So the question everyone's minds is, or are, does that mean that once we have 1,000 Pokemon, does that mean that it's over? Well, if you think about it, if they could create 1,500, maybe then they should end it, because that's a perfect, book ends. They had 150 or maybe 152 first Pokemon in the very first generation, and then they end with a total of 1,500. Still, though, that will mean that the new generations will have to create new Pokemon. And as if there's anything I have learned from recent generations is that they are running out of ideas. That has to say that the designs are not imaginative. No, I'm just saying they're running out of ideas. Because honestly, I think this new generation will have the fewest yet. Now that we have talked about that, let's run into it. I will not show you the trailer or anything because I don't know how to do that. So if you haven't watched the trailer, go ahead and watch it right now and then come back to this video because I'll go from there. Is showing us, although they do say that the video is not yet finished for some strange reason, in a region of Galar that we see houses, including a house that has a fletchling stand. Well, not a stand, lightning rod. A perfectly, maybe a note to, the fact that, how do you say this? Sorry, I stammered again. Probably that fletchling and its evolutions will be in this game. Although technically that will mean that it has been in 3 generations so far. X and Y and Sun and Moon, and then finally in Sword and Shield. I mean, granted, I guess it was a pretty popular Pokemon. I liked it at least when I saw it the first time, mostly because I liked its final evolution. Fire flying. Not that that was new, it just felt very fresh. Not just a fire normal. The region's name is Galar, a region that's very based on England. And although some YouTubers have noted that there even is some Scottish and Irish, inspiration. Hmm. Well, I am not from that country, so I cannot speak for their minds. But I just wonder, do people from those regions agree? Well, if the YouTubers who are all from those countries agrees, then I see no reason why they shouldn't. So, either way, and of course you are the player. And then we see so many different signs, including some changes and some changes that are not there. What a lot of people complained about as soon as they saw this trailer was that it seems that wild encounter going in the grass and just like that is back. And I'm just one of the few who is actually not complaining about that. More than that, I'm actually just saying to people, come on, of course they will be back. Don't you realize there was over 800 and more Pokemon? They can't do Overworld. They only did it in Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu because it was a shorter game. More than that, as much as we want Pokemon to follow you, it will not happen again. Simply because it's a lot of hassle. They feel it's too tiresome. And I feel like it's too much programming. That is the only reason why I feel like we will never see a Pokemon is walking with you and stuff like that in a main generation. Would it be nice if we had that? Will it feel like, yes, it would. It would also mean that we will have an instance where maybe Pokemon felt a little bit more alive. Interacting with them at Pokemon and me did help a little bit, but it also got boring after a while. So, I mean, if there was a way to make Pokemon that you're going with feel a little bit more alive, like if you don't play with them enough, then their friendship goes down, or their liking to you goes down, or their abilities goes a little bit down. I mean, that would be a very good programming if they did that. As much of a hassle it would be good if they did. But it's impossible. It is too much of a hassle, and Pokemon Company, Game Freak as they're called, are too lazy. Or in other words, not that into it. The map of Galar, as many YouTubers have pointed out, has already identified that gyms are back. Well, granted, the trailer also shows the gyms, although this time these gyms look like stadiums, a lot inspired by soccer, or as we say in my country, football. And that begs the question, though, does that mean that gyms here are more like a sport? There are spectators in those, gyms. Makes me wonder if we're going to have experience points going through these gyms, or there will be something else. Maybe it will be a fusion like the trial section from Sun and Moon and the gym section of old. Going to the field and you cannot leave until you finish it. If it is the match reference, then that would actually work kind of well. Or maybe you go into it, you beat people, and then you face off against the gym leader in this stage. Maybe that is the theme. Some have identified other gyms around the corners, but the themes of them are pretty difficult to point out. What is most apparent is there is a grass gym. That's the most easiest to point out. But the rest, are mixed. The funny thing is, in an ice region, there is one gym, which a lot of people guess are the ice one. I think there's a trailer that actually shows the gym up close, and then we do indeed see it has the ice marking. The funny thing, in the overworld of the map, it looks more dark to me. Makes me question if it is a dark gym. Granted, however, every single ice region in a Pokemon has always been an ice gym, so I feel like that would be enough card. Another one is in a fairy tale land. A lot of people guess that that's a fairy gym. However, others have pointed out that it's purple, probably implying that it's a poison gym. We'll see, won't we? Then there's the Dragon Tower, the only one who does not look like a stadium, but perhaps implying, a dragon. Or maybe also the fact that the ice-like region may actually have a steel typing given the gray black sign. So who knows? Who knows? But Galler also seems to be pretty short for some instances. Not completely, just a little bit. It's unknown to know if it actually is shorter or not. What is most, I mean, people are actually begging that we are going to visit Kalos because technically England and France are not that far away from each other. But again, I don't think Game Freak will ever do that again. It's a bummer that they have not resumed that ever since Heart Gold and Soul Silver or Heart Gold and Silver. But I just do not see it possible. Most of all, because if Pokemon Ami comes back, I mean, it has to come back, otherwise we cannot evolve AV into Sylveon. I'm still not really convinced it will come back. Because what will, I mean, hyper evolution, then that means you have to have high evolution on other Pokemon. Or maybe you have to restart your adventure with just a selected few Pokemon. Who knows? And even if we do get to Kalos, what would be the theme then? That's the thing here. What is the theme of Generation 8? Or was it 9? The Galar region. What is the theme we can say? It is based on England, a lot of Stonehenge markings, mythical-like areas with different weather patterns, possibly implying, well, you know, possibly implying a winter-like. No, sorry, I was wrong. A magical fairy tale-looking area. Kalos had that a little bit as well, but they dwelled more into Mega Evolution, which I still feel is one of the biggest mistakes Pokemon did. I'm one of the few who did not enjoy the Mega Evolutions, but that did not mean I didn't have a Mega Pokemon. It's just that a lot of Mega Pokemon designs I felt would have been a lot better if they just had been a second or a third evolution of that one Pokemon. To be honest, it would have been felt much better. Even if that had made him more OP. I know they only created that to have fresh ideas. Then they created the remake of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and strangely, a lot of people complained about that. Even though I asked myself, well, come on, people, you asked for more Mega, and here you got more Mega, so I see no reason why you should complain. And then we got to, well, Sun and Moon, who did not have Mega, but had Alolan forms. I like the Alolan forms, but just one very big complaint I have with Alolan forms, and that was there was fewer than I expected. I expected at least twice more. And I was so bummed out that when Ultra Moon and Sun came, that they didn't show us more. They had every opportunity to transform more Pokemon into Alola. It would not have been impossible. Alola form was a nice gimmick because that means a lot of Pokemon will have changed or extra typing. I like that. But it was just too few. It was just too few. And now a rumor is going around saying that this Galar will have armor evolution. And I have not watched those videos enough to actually know what that rumors are, but I'm just saying, armor evolution? It was bad enough that people compared Pokemon to Digimon after Mega, but now an armor? Well, come on, Pokemon Game Freak. Can't you at least give us a Galar form or something like that? Or is armor supposed to be Galar form? Or what is even this armor? Given the leak who posted that, I would actually say, yeah, I actually believe it. I don't like it, and that is just why I believe it to be true. But we'll see, won't we? So the theme here may be magic. And who will the villain team be? Well, Team Magician, maybe? Or something like that. What will they want? Every single villain team wants some kind of world domination. But maybe there's a more noble, magical-like theme here. Let's not forget the name of these games are Pokemon Sword and Shield. What are swords and shield? Something the knights used to wield long time ago. And also a lot of royals have a warrior shield, a family shield, and some were smithing famous swords that people wielded. So, is it possible that the villain of these teams are people who feel like their birthrights are taken from them? Because there's a lot of steampunk in Pokemon Shield and Sword, so maybe they feel like they have destroyed the classic nobleness that they used to have. I mean, the region looks a bit modern in some areas and some not, so I wonder. Either way, I'm not expecting a very improving Pokemon team. And if we do see Kalos, then maybe Flare will be connected. Because let's not forget, sorry, Flare also were connected to nobility, especially that king that invented the weapon. So yeah, we'll see, won't we? Old Pokemon return, a lot from old generations. Even Grubbin is in this game, which actually surprised me. But I liked Grubbin, and I liked its evolutions. But that also means that we have to have an electric area here, so what can that electric area be? Maybe the final area in the game. It has the most modern buildings after all. Or maybe the dragon area, or the rock area. I guess we'll see. Possibly implying that Magnemite is also in this game. It's one of my favorite Pokemons. Now, let's talk about one last thing that is not on this list. Evolution. There's one Pokemon I definitely want in this game, and that is more than one evolution. It feels like forever, and actually it is forever, since we got a new evolution. And that was from Pokemon X and Y. And we only got one. I'm actually very pissed off about that. Why did we only get one? Some people have said that we do not get evolutions every generation, we get every second generation. And the thing is, though, I'm actually wondering, why do we not get 3? Why do we only get 2, and why was the last one 1? Because what I was gonna say before, when I said, when will we know Pokemon is finished? I was gonna answer that question by saying, please, Game Freak, at least create an evolution of every single type. Then you can end. Because I want an EV of every single type. That you do not evolve through trading, mind you. But I feel like that is very difficult for them, because after all, they are running out of ideas to find out how to evolve an Eevee. But I want an evolution for this new generation. And which one is most likely? A type, I mean. Dragon, Poison, or Steel. I feel like those are the most common. Why? Well, there's an industrial section, although that doesn't really create poison, but almost. I mean, after all, we know how it feels like now. Steel, only because of the sword and shield theme, and as I said before, the armor thing. And Dragon, if this is a mythical fairy tale like theme, then that should only mean a dragon should be there. But we wonders, won't we? We do wonder. Finally, let's discuss the starters. I mean, they didn't react so well on me the first time I saw them, mostly because I felt like their eyes were all the same. They are Grookey, the grass starter, Scorbunny, the fire starter, and Sobble, the water starter. Which one did I like the most? Well, that was the problem. I really didn't know how to pick a favorite. I actually felt like Sobble was the least impressive for me. Mostly because, unlike the others, its design looked so difficult to analyze. I didn't even know it was a water lizard, or aka a chameleon, until the Pokemon company said it. I mean, Scorbunny and Grookey looks a bit more interesting to me. I mean, I always play every single type, but I mean, last generation I thought the water evolution, Papilio, would be the least impressive. But no, once it evolved into Primarina, it became a little bit more of my favorite, but only because I wanted a female Primarina, mind you. I did not want a male, so I restarted the game until I got a female Puplio because that was the only thing I disliked about Primarina. It had such a feminine design that it needed to be female. Otherwise, it would have been a little bit weird. But I do like the grass starters a lot, actually, even if I don't always pick them. So maybe my first Pokemon will be Grookey, or maybe it will be Sable. Scorbunny, I like them too. It's just that it took a little time for me to get used to them. But what's a rumor going on right now is which type is well, you know, sorry, which type are the final evolutions of the starters going to be? Well, I cannot wait to see their final evolutions. And hopefully they look just as badass as the Sun and Moon finals did. The theme of many starters is that they look cute at the beginning and then they become very rough looking and, well, badass in the final one. So we can only assume badass designs. The thing is, will we have a secondary type on them? Well, theories have been going around a lot. So let me discuss which one of these theories I like the most and why I feel like that. Let's go with Grookey first. Grookey is what a lot of people agree on. It's the most difficult to pin down. Mostly because, well, it's a monkey. Monkey Pokemon is not unknown, but they usually have a fighting theme. Although that will make Grookey the second grass fighting after, Chestnut. So the thing here is that a lot of people usually go in with the information on Grookey. It's called a mischievous monkey. And mischievous goes with the theme of trickery, aka the dark type, evil type in Japanese. Possibly implying that Grookey could be a grass dark in its final evolution. And if it is a grass dark, that would actually complete the theme. And that is Greninja, Incineroar, and then finally Grookey's final evolution. That will mean every single one have a secondary type that is dark, completing the theme of water, fire, and grass having a dark one. So that is not exactly a bad theory. But other peoples have pointed out something else, which I also should point out before I actually continue, and that is we're introduced to the starters in a CG trailer, which they say is not game mechanics. And I think that trailer is not only meant to show us their personalities, but I think it is actually also to give us a hint, a foreshadowing, so to speak, on what their final is. And on that one, it's worth noting that Grookey is hitting a rock with its stick, probably implying it's gonna have a stick as a weapon that it keeps in its hair. Probably it has that stick so it can use a leaf blade through it. The fact that it's hitting a rock seems to imply that it's going to become grass and rock, which a lot of people do agree with, me included. And I feel like grass rock would be the most amazing one. Mostly also because if you think about it, the grass rock would mean it's super effective against fire types, aka the fire starter. So that would be a nice theme. The thing is, though, also that a lot of grass starters, not all of them, I think Chestnut broke that theme, though, is that a lot of grass starters are sometimes based on an extinct animal. But as I said before, I think Chestnut Final Evolutions broke that theme. Chespin broke the theme, the fact that it was the first animal grass starters. Until then, they've always been reptilian. And a lot of grass starters have the theme of always having an extinct animal. Because, yes, even Rowlet's Final Evolution has a theme of the fact that it's based on an extinct owl that was native to Hawaii many years ago. So, but I don't think Chestnut was based on any extinct animal. And Grookey seems to be based on a chimpanzee. So I don't know so many extinct apes. Or, not monkeys, I think apes in these situations. The only one I know is that orangutan that we saw in, the Damn, I slur my words again. The Jungle Book movie, King Louis, being based on an extinct orangutan that was apparently native to India a very long time ago, but that would actually be a little bit weird. We already have an orangutan Pokemon, although we already also have monkey Pokemon. So a Grookey, as someone who looks like a chimpanzee, then suddenly become an orangutan. I don't know if I would buy that. But we have been tricked before. We can always be tricked again. So who knows? And as I said before, Chestnut did not follow that theme. I don't think it did, at least. So if we'll have any extinct animal, I don't know. But if we did have an extinct animal, then the grass rock theme would actually work. Then we get to Scorbunny, the fire starter. It's a rabbit Pokemon. Actually, once again following a theme. I actually sometimes wonder if Pokemon Game Freak are aware of this, or if it's all just a coincidence. And that is the theme that has always been in every single fire starter so far, is that everyone is based on the Chinese zodiac. In this case, the rabbit. And that's another reason why I think Pokemon will continue. If they really are basing the fire starters on the Chinese zodiac, then that probably means that once they have finished the Chinese zodiac, then they have probably finished the game, or the franchise at least. But I sometimes wonder, is Game Freak actually aware that they're using the Chinese zodiac, or is it all just a coincidence? Well, if they've done this so far, then I feel like it should not be a coincidence. Scorbunny is an energetic Pokemon, it's called, and it translates, something that is always moving around. And the thing that immediately got people's attention, it's going to be a firefighting. Mostly because it has band H-like markings on its legs, on its feet, and on its nose. And I agree, it seems to be based on a soccer player. So I see no reason why it shouldn't be firefighting. But I do agree that that would be kind of dull. We have free firefighting for 3 generations straight. People no longer want a firefighting. They want something new. I mean, they were even afraid that Incineroar was going to be firefighting, but no, we were tricked there. It was Fire Dark. That was actually pretty nice. So what other type can Scorbunny's final evolution be? Yeah, well, that is the question. Actually, it's worth noting that Scorbunny is running on a metal windmill while creating sparks under his feet as it lands and dives and then glides on the grass. What caught my eye that a lot of people have also been commenting on it, that the very popular fear right now that it's going to be fire and steel. And while that would be a nice combo, I sometimes wonder, is that really possible? It feels a little bit too overpowered, although it will give it quadruple damage to ground, so maybe not. Just however that a fire steel bunny, is that even possible? I'm trying to think logical here, although logic doesn't really work that well with it. I wonder. If it's based on a soccer player though, maybe it will have some other type. Other guess it's gonna be fire fairy. Because of its mischievous, cute-like design. But that doesn't really go well with its soccer theme, so I see no reason why it should be like that. Although that would mean that if it was Fire Fairy, then we only need one more type to have that, and then we have another selection complete. However, another theory, which is the theory I like the most, is that some even guess it's gonna be Fire Electric. And when it runs on in the windmill of the metal, it's worth noting that it's creating sparks. Yes, those sparks are fire, but when it creates that through the metal, the sparks feel like more of an electric thing. And even people have noted out that it's very energetic. Even in its Japanese names means a spark, but a spark can also be a fire. So a fire electric, that would work well. Also based on another thing, as I said before, if Grookey were grass and rock, then it would crush the fire starter with the second type. But if Scorbunny were fire electric, it would crush the water starter with its electric one. I feel like that's one I like the most. So I agree. I would like to see fire and electric. But someone else said that they feel like electric is the fourth type, therefore they feel like it's kind of, well, boring. And also, electric is more special than physical. That's to say that it doesn't have, I mean, electric close-on counter, but yeah, maybe a little bit like that. And it looks more like an attacker than a special attacker. A little bit of a fragile personality, but if it really is the fragile speedster, then I agree. Looks more likely to have a fire electric. Hits hard and is fast, but cannot take a hit for the life of it. Finally, we have Sabel, the most difficult of them all. As I said before, I could not identify this creature when I saw it the first time. It looked like a tadpole at the beginning, and only until later did they say it was a water lizard, which I was pretty happy about. We already got a tadpole Pokemon starter. We didn't need another. So yeah, I mean, the theme of the water types usually are that every single final is sometimes based on a weapon. Yes, even Primarina has been called based on a weapon. In this case, a whip. Blastoise were cannons. Feraligatr was said to be knuckle busters because, well, it's knuckles. And who else did say that? And Greninja was based on the Shuriken, based on its ninja-like design. However, Sabel was the one who actually reacted least to me, but it probably means it's just going to be the best design of it all. So a lot of people are guessing it's here. It appears from the lake, camouflaging itself similar to how chameleon sometimes camouflage itself with green, then goes out of the water and just looks a little bit cute until it's scared away by the Grookey. So what a lot of people guessed here is that it's going to be Water Ghost, because it disappears similar to how a ghost does, and it blends in the air. Others have guessed Water Dragon, only because of its water lizard theme. Although technically, even Charizard was a lizard, and that did not become a fire dragon, although that was the first generation, so of course it wouldn't. It looks like a dragon, but only a Mega Evolution is a dragon. So that is impossible. Sorry, I have a lot of trouble breathing. I feel like because I'm so tired. But yeah. However, there was another thing that people said that I also thought was pretty neat. And that, although I don't think Game Freak has actually thought of that, and I think it's just a coincidence, it's too good to be true. Even as much as I have to say I like it. And that is, it's disappearing and reappearing. It's very similar to how the anime version describes the move Acid Armor, a defensive move that, well, powers up your defense. You know, you blend into the environment or so to, well, increase your defense. And I liked that idea, possibly implying that Sabel is going to be a water poison. And again, if it is a water poison, it completes the set, because then its poison power is super effective against the grass starter. I mean, that what I feel like all these different types having that one would be a wonderful combo. Grass rock, the rock takes out the fire. Fire electric, the electric takes out the water. And water and water poison, taking out the grass. But will Game Freak really go down that road? No, it feels too good to be true, so I don't feel like it. And as I said before, even if it looks like Acid Armor, I feel that is just a coincidence. Had Pokemon Company really thought that far ahead? I don't think they have. So what will Sabel? Or maybe Sabel will not have any type at all. It's noted to be a very sad-looking Pokemon with tears. So having a poison type will probably be a little bit of a troll, given that it's a sobbing Pokemon, but then it becomes dangerous, poisonous, and evil. So who knows? We'll see, won't we? I will look forward to the final starters. We'll look forward to the middle starters as well. It will give a more clue, or perhaps even reveal what the next type will be, if any type at all. These designs didn't work on me the first time, but that's because I only look forward to the final evolution stage of every starter. And hopefully they will not disappoint. But we'll see, won't we? I go with the theory, or at least I would prefer the theory, of grass rock, fire electric, and water poison. But again, I feel like that is too good to be true. I want evolutions. Steel, poison, or dragon. Either one of those. I want to explore Kalas, but I feel like we will not see Kalas. As much as I want Pokemon to walk with you, I feel like Game Freak will never go down that road again. It is too much of a bother, even if they are getting it on Switch. So who will see? Will Pokemon just be as Pokemon has always been, or will they have changes? They are speaking very highly of this game, saying like it's a very ambitious project. But I feel like they are trolling us there. I think the most ambitious thing about it is the fact that it is based on it's not only based on England, it's in the Switch, and the Switch is more compatible to larger amount of memory than the handheld. But we'll see, won't we? We'll see. The other rumors that have been going around is that we're going to have fewer Pokemon than ever. Only 63 this time. But if we're going to have forms like the armor, then they will have 12, so we will make up for it. And if you ask me, I think that is likely, actually. Yes, I do not want that. But you have to realize one thing. Ever since X and Y, we have only gotten fewer Pokemon than ever. Not counting the extra form, either the Mega Evolution, the Alolan forms. We have gotten fewer Pokemon than ever. We will not have more. Don't get me wrong, I want 100 just as much as you want, but I feel like it is impossible. So that's my thing of all this. If you have any thoughts, you can give in to me.